Burna, bow, sword, and fire rod. What are we hoping for this time around?
You know, I always like to hope for bombs, both because it's a good skill check for the beginning of the seed, but also you know, it's nice not having to worry about farming up that bomb at the beginning of the seed. So it's always nice to see it.
Yeah, it's okay. Guess we're getting a fire rod, anyways.
Well, I know what's not on the corpse of your dead uncle, and that's a second fire rod.
Spoiler alert: he's dead.
Yeah, I didn't mean to ruin the ending of A Link to the Past: Infinity War for anybody, but Uncle is super dead at the bottom as well.
Right. So as you were saying with bombs, I also like seeing bombs just due to being able to see what people know about bomb escape. But we get a Samaria this time around.
This is a pretty interesting situation with both runners having Samaria and Fire Rod. Fire Rod is definitely faster, but Samaria is almost a more efficient use of your mana. Oh, what?
So we get 3 of the weapons to start with.
All right, so what are we hoping for? We're hoping for sword and hammer and bombs and the rest of Escape just to complete it?
Yeah, I feel if we get all of that in Escape, we're set for the game, right?
Pretty well. I mean, you know, minus all the other required items, I suppose.
That's very true.
All right, well, so these runners have an interesting task ahead of them. They've got no arrows yet, and they need to utilize their magic meter in a way that will maximize the chance that they can get bombs when they choose to use it.
Yeah, I almost feel Samaria is a near better weapon to use over the fire rod, because you can then push the block into the enemy to deal damage.
Yeah, you get
But that would require it.
Well, there's bombs right there. So what? Of the 4 chests we've seen, all 4 of them were potential starting items at the beginning of the seed.
Yeah, the 3 bombs a little bit different from that 10 bomb drop, but it's still bombs at the end game. So
I'm gonna need you to get out of here with your logic and correctness. We can't be having any of that around these parts.
All right. So we'll find Mir over on Spectacle Rock then, and
that sounds about right.
I mean, if I'm just like foreseeing the future, then I don't know. But looks like we're getting another weapon of sorts.
If Bombos turns out to be a required medallion, I'm gonna lose it. Well, now we have almost every conceivable way to enter Ice Palace, so that's good.
Right, so just need that glove
and flippers.
Yeah, potential flippers. You could fake flipper it, but.
All right, so we see Patty utilizing Samaria's strats there.
Swapping over to the fire rod, the 1-hit kill. So.
Yeah, when you've already got your bombs kind of, you know, locked down, and the rats in Escape, or in the back of Escape that has the small key, is relatively easy to kill with Samaria, or at least it's more forgiving with Cane of Samaria. So yeah, switching to Fire Rod just for the sheer speed of it is definitely the correct choice.
I'm almost like hoping to see a sword and then see someone just like bombos that room with the rats. It would be a very big time loss, but it'd be funny.
It sounds to me like you're just hungry and you want some delicious cooked Hylian rat for supper.
I mean, there's plenty of rats down there. Why not?
Yeah, I agree. And some of them, for some odd reason, have arrows or bombs on them. So figure that one out.
They're planning to revolt against the kingdom.
It's the bourgeoisie overseers of Hyrule Castle. I mean, look at that. They've wasted all their money on gold bricks and red carpet, and they're not spending it on the working class rats. They need to revolt.
I mean, when they keep all the rats in the sewers underneath, I don't know if they're really working. I mean, they're keeping people away. That's about it.
That sounds right to me. All right, so we do see right-sided escape strats from nifboy there. It's pretty much the same to go right or left from what I can tell, but the standard meta is to go down the left side.
Now, would that have anything to do with like the way pumping works, in which you'd use left over right, or is that just preference?
I honestly don't know the answer to that question. I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah, I'm
Most
not
of
too
the
diverse in that.
NMG runs I see them going down the left side.
That's understandable then. It could be just force of habit that's the way everyone ended up choosing. But we get ourselves a tiny shield.
Yeah, the item dream is dead, unfortunately. I guess the rest of them could be in the back of escape. The dream is still alive.
Patty getting that rat. Technically first try, but he killed 2 rats at once.
I think it's important that we not give him credit for getting out the first try, though. All right, let's see what's in the back of escape. Wow, flippers.
So about Ice Palace, eh?
Well, we still need coverings for our hands to be able to lift heavy rocks, but we're getting one step closer.
Yeah, just missing those oven mitts to handle all the heat from Ice Palace, and we'll be good to go.
It's funny because it's actually really cold there.
All right, Patty getting out with a 6-minute, which is actually really good, and half magic.
Ooh, very well timed half magic too, because it fills up that magic meter that'll give them all the magic they need if they don't get anything good to kill all the mini mold worms. All right, so I saw a red crystal in desert.
Yeah, a pendant on Eastern and a normal crystal up on Hera.
Our tracker Oddwall's hard at work, putting up that information, so I don't have to pay attention. That's good stuff right there.
I'm gonna give Nifboy the edge here. He's got 3 bombs compared to Patty's 2.
Patty did get a really nice 80 rupee tree pull right there. That's enough for more bombs if you need them in Kakariko Village.
Very true. Oh, all right, edge to Patty. Nifboy did not do the tree pull.
Ooh, is that silver arrows in the lumberjack tree? Boy, unless this is somehow an Agahnim required seed, it is not worth the 5 or 6 minutes of Aghanim's tower just to get silver arrows.
Yeah, depending on if the runners would know Silverless or not. Knowing Patty, I would assume Patty knows it, but I don't know anything about Nifboy, so I can't make that decision. And it looks like we have a sword inside the Lost Woods.
Yeah, Babby's first sword. Always nice to see that. Soon that means you don't have to bust out any crazy swordless strats for a good portion of the seed. And then just a huge pile of cash money in the other part of Lost Woods there.
All right, so now we have 4 of the 7 start. Oh, actually, we have 5 of the starting 7 items.
That's correct. I think we're missing Hammer and Brina.
Yeah, just 2 left. Very interesting that all we've done is escape and the Lost Woods, and having 5 of them already.
Oh, these runners still do have quite a bit of progress to make towards Dark World access, so that's usually the first gateway in these early game seeds here. But we've got the entirety of the stacked village of Kakariko to search for items, so. Alright, so the worst boomerang, a moon pearl, an extra large bomb bag, and a quarter of someone's severed heart. That's gross. And there's the other one.
That's very weird that a blind person is hiding some hearts in their basement.
You just saving them for later.
Is it like Link, where Link like devours the hearts, and that's how he replenishes his own?
I'm afraid I don't have the heart to tell you exactly how it works. Nothing? Alright,
No,
that's
no.
fair.
And it looks like even more hearts just hidden inside the well.
Oh wow, so Lantern and Quake in the well. Patty will have to shake the water out of that lantern. So we've got basically every source of fire in this game left.
That's very true. There is no other sources of fire.
That's just the seeds telling us this is going to be some smoking hot action. All right, Patty with a chicken bowl. Oh, gutter ball. Threw it just a little bit too late.
Early blue mail.
Nifboy deciding that the smartest move is not to play chicken bowling, and that's usually correct because there is a potential you can soft lock yourself.
Mm-hmm. And with finding that lamp, it's actually really interesting to think of Eastern being a pendant, but it's fully in logic right now.
Yep, that is very true. And Patty making the move to purchase a few more bombs, especially after getting that bomb capacity.
Yeah, it's
Probably
definitely
not as
worth it,
happy.
I feel. But
yeah, probably not as happy. Like, that would have been a pretty good move if he hadn't also just found 3 more bombs in the back of the tavern there. All right, let's see what's in the library besides nerds. Oh, wow, Power Gauntlet.
I don't feel there's any nerds in there that time.
No. Only the cool kids are going to be picking up that Power Gauntlet.
I wonder who left it behind.
A very tall person.
Yeah, I don't want to get my glove all over these books. I'm just gonna put it up here.
Well, no, they had to turn the pages, and the Power Gauntlets, fat stubby fingers. He didn't want to rip any of the pages. It's a very considerate Power Glove wear. All right, so both these runners making very, very similar plays in the early game here, but really the seed isn't giving them a whole lot outside of, Eastern Palace access as far as like directions it's pointed them. So going for the most chests per minute is the standard route that they're on right now. Pretty strong play.
Yeah, and both of them doing the dam here in opposite fashion, but both will reveal the exact same results.
Right, so we got ourselves a soggy heart container.
Very interesting. Someone throwing their full heart in the water.
I don't know about you, Cursed Aether, but I'm always super happy to find a couple extra heart containers early in the game. I mean, you can definitely rely on your skill of execution to get yourself through early parts of the seed, but why risk it? Pick up those heart containers. It can make a pretty big difference early in the game.
Unless it's like a heart piece that's out of the way, I'll generally pick it up. I'm confident in myself, but at the same time, I know I'm gonna make some errors. So,
Patty going for bomb strats. Pulls it off though, and they both enter the Generous Guy cave almost within a second of each other. And that is Zora money right there.
yeah, Zora also fully within logic right now, and hook shot.
Oh, and the hook
Very
shot.
Nice.
Boy,
So do we gamble on Zora before Eastern at this point, due to being in this area already, where the portal is?
I'd say if I didn't have the flippers, I'd be more wary of, going outside of the logic when I had so many other things to do first. But I'd say at this point, I think it makes pretty strong sense to just head up this way. And it appears that Patty is going to go for the Ice Rod Cave check.
Yeah, with a flute or boots, it's not too bad to come back here, but it could hold something you need early on, so you never know.
Yeah, it's always rough to skip this, and it turns out like the hammer's in here or something awful. You always play just a little bit different when you're playing 1v1, against somebody in a tournament versus when you're playing like in a large nightly or weekly race. Because you don't have to beat the entire field, you just have to beat your opponent. So taking a little extra time to, reduce the chance of a blowout is, I think, solid play.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in the 2-2s right now, I would say that's where a lot of the more riskier plays would come out. I mean, I guess in the 1-3s, even more would come out because you got nothing to worry about. But if you want to work on beating your opponent, and depending on if you're relatively the same skill level, sometimes a risky play is necessary.
Yeah. Gotta risk it for the biscuit. Ooh, I missed what was on Lake Hylia Island there. Did you catch that?
I did. And that was our 3rd medallion.
Oh wow, the Harry Potter coin,
Ether,
right?
yeah, Ether is there.
Nifboy getting molested by crabs, which sounds a lot dirtier than it really is.
Very. The crabs in this game are the reason I pick up the health early.
Yeah, they do. They do 2 hearts of damage to green mail, which very early game can really kill you pretty fast. All right, so we'll see if Patty opts to finish this route and go to Zora. I'm wondering if Nifboy is heading over to Eastern or if he's going to die back in the lake.
Looks like Nifboy's going over to Eastern. I mean, both are very good choices here. But Patty going up to Zora, whereas Nifboy going for the Eastern play.
Yeah, Nifboy routed. He wanted to rob that hobo before he checked Ice Rod Cave, and is opting to, put off the Zora area. A lot of runners like doing Catfish and Zora at the same time if they later find the mirror, because it's pretty efficient. All right, Green Pendant and Misery Mire. Good old Sahash Ruhush Grilish, just doling out the information.
I think that's one of the better parts about Randomizer right now is you can see where that green pendant is. It's one less thing you have to put on your own personal tracker later. And it looks like we're just stealing a cloak out of the back of Sahasrah's hut.
That mantle has been warming the family of Sahasrah for years, and Nifboy just stole it. That's ice cold.
He needed to replace the blue one on his back.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, he wanted a red one, and he didn't want to wait till he found red mail. But yeah, otherwise, not a whole lot of... Oh, wow, so it turns out that skipping the Zora area was pretty much the correct play, unless, of course, this bottle leads to progression behind Sick Kid.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even if it doesn't lead to progression, it's nice to have that bottle later, but overall, that would make this a decent chunk of time that you've wasted up here.
Yeah, so Patty's got the choice to run all the way over to Kakariko to turn in the bottle, or head over to Eastern, where there's a greater chest concentration. It looks like he's... Yeah, he looks like he's chasing this bottle play. Sometimes you have to commit to your gambles in the randomizer.
Yeah, Nifboy getting another red item for himself. A nice fire shield. Now, I think we're just missing one more red item, and then we'll have them all. Or boots as well, if you would count boots into that.
Well, they are a crimson color.
Right, okay, so we're missing 2 red items.
Well, 1 red item and 1 crimson item.
Okay, crimson.
Alright, speaking of red items, Patty taking time out of his day to steal the lunch money of a small child. So it's a strong play, bold, I can respect it. He was probably hoping to steal a small child's, like, hammer. Or boots. He wanted those
kid's
Nikes.
Parents go out for the day, and it's like, here, have some money to go get some lunch later. Nope.
So yeah, we're basically running out of places where items have to be.
At this point in time, Eastern overall seems like the play to make. There isn't really anything
we're already
else
2 items in Eastern here. I mean, these guys are doing pretty good on hard containers, but not as good on progression. I mean, at this point, with Moon Pearl, Flippers, and Hookshot, it's, you finish up Eastern, and then you've got to do Agahnim at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Having the cape, having the lamp, it's all within logic at this point in time.
It works out pretty well because both the runners know that silver arrows are locked behind the lumberjack tree. So, you don't feel as bad having to do Agahnim if you know you're eventually going to get silvers. And Patty, is he making the hero call to skip Eastern and go straight to Agahnim?
He is. Like, if there was progression inside of Eastern, that could have been a big difference here between the runners. But overall, it doesn't seem to be the case so far. Like, 1 item left inside of Eastern, but unless it's the boots, we don't really have any real option.
Yeah. I mean, it could be the glove in the library could be Titan's Mitts, and there could be another glove here. Oh, he got to kill Armos for the 3rd item. That's just cruel.
Yeah. Like, that is very true. And we'll see if it pays off or not. But overall, with this being a pendant dungeon, it may not be worth it.
Well, we're about to find out. That's the glorious thing about sitting in this chair and drinking a delicious adult beverage is they do all the work and I just get to see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, overall, if there were to be progression here inside Eastern, Patty will have that upper edge with having silvers later. So it could all come down to a Ganon fight later on, and Patty has silvers for it to make it faster.
Very true. But if a key progression item is here behind Armos Knights, then Nifboy might be able to skip out of the 5 to 6 minutes of Aghanim's Tower.
Yeah, very true.
Nifboy having a little trouble with those Stalfos. That room is annoying if the Stalfos decide to dodge too much. Nice one-round red Igors there from Nifboy.
My least favorite Igors of the game.
My least favorite Igors of the game are all of them.
Yeah.
The ones that are red
true.
that require you to shoot them with arrows, those are the ones I don't like. Oh no. So Nifboy completes Eastern Palace and is only rewarded with 10 more arrows, which is less than he spent getting there.
Patty playing a game of tag there with the blue guards in the tower.
Yep. So Patty, reading the logic, making that the hero call to go up to Aghanim's Tower early. Now he might end up going back into Eastern later on in the game if he wants to include Palace of Darkness in with that routing, but
Yeah, at this point in time, that seems like the best option as well. With 3 items in there, you never know what you could find, but it looks like nothing, so...
So Nifboy's going to head back to the Zora area. And yeah, he will be quite disappointed with what he sees there, unfortunately. Although if he opts to not follow that bottle all the way through, he might save himself a little extra walking and a save and quit there.
And I feel for Nifboy's sake at this point in time, with sinking that much time into Eastern already, you'd almost want to hope for a ped, just due to having that pendant.
Yeah, the
that would be a lot of clearing.
Meanwhile, Patty's girlfriend getting teleported away by an evil wizard. Let's see how many blue balls we get. Luckily, the amount of blue balls will be the same for each runner.
Pretty sure the last race I commentated had like 7. So
that's gross.
I'm hoping for not 7.
All right, so we're 2 for 3 non-blue balls here. Meanwhile, Nifboy picking up the bottle for the same reason Patty did. Could be progression. We know it's not. We know it only leads to a sad child with nothing to eat for the rest of the day.
That poor child. I mean, the child could eat the bee that's in the bottle, right?
That's true. That's protein. I'm curious if Nifboy is gonna say, I'm gonna check everything that I didn't check, which is Sick Kid, and I think Agina's cave is the only other place that nobody checked. But nope, he's going straight to Agahnim.
I look away for a few seconds, and then we're in the 3rd phase of Aga, and I don't know how many blue balls have happened.
Yeah, it was. Well, he was down to 1 more hit for a while, I think. But what we got there. So Patty finishing off Agahnim right around the same time Nifboy walks through the front door. So
that's a decently sizable lead.
Yeah, that's a solid 5 to 6 minutes, give or take. All right, nothing on Pyramid. I mean, we do have Bow and Lantern, which to me screams Palace of Darkness a little bit.
Yeah. Pod was a red crystal. And I'm pretty sure I saw a green pennant on Meyer.
Yeah, we already knew that from good old, what's his name?
Szechuan Chicken.
Yes.
And then red pennant on Thieves Town.
So Patty's showing us the weird alternate route through. He's opting to go up to Catfish and or the left side of the Dark World. Yep, so he's using that hook shot and the flippers. He's probably assuming that since he has both of those items, the logic wants him to utilize both of them and continue on. It seems like there tends to be a lot of things, and Agahnim required seeds with flippers and hookshot. I feel like there's stuff in Hype Cave a very large percentage of the time.
Yeah, that's very true. And with this being the only way to get there, it makes for a very long, trek.
Yep. Patty correctly remembering that he has the cape, so he should check and see what Bumper Cave's got here. Besides murder birds. Oh my god.
The 300 wasn't worth it.
Yikes. Yeah, even with Blue Mail, those guys, they do quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, they're not fun to be around whatsoever.
So it could be very possible we will have another point of divergence right outside Agahnim here. It would be pretty reasonable for a nifboy to want to go over to the Palace of Darkness area, given the items he has.
Yeah, and being able to fully clear Palace of Darkness, other than the boss due to not having hammer, that seems like a decent chunk of items you can get out. So at least 4 of them.
Oh, and the boots in Value Woods. Patty making all the plays here.
Patty is definitely going to be able to get 1 glove the second he save and quits, unless there's a mirror nearby.
That would be a pretty incredible turn of luck if the mirror and the boots happen to be in the area that would lead you straight to the glove. That's almost too nice. I don't think the seed will do it. All right, so we already know that the Agahnim fight for Nifboy is going to give him 4 blue balls, but Nifboy doesn't know that. So I will enjoy watching him struggle because I'm a jerk.
Patty also has everything he needs to finish Skull Woods here, other than potential life to survive, but...
Yeah, Fighter Sword Moth is tough, but doable with Blue Mail and Half Magic Fire Rod.
Just gotta not get hit along the way. Should be alright.
Nifboy is in the middle of his I love blue balls phase of the Agahnim fight here. So still 1 more item left in Skull Woods.
Yeah, now would you gamble under the bridge, or do you just go straight to Mothula, considering you have to kill Mothula anyways?
At 2 hearts, I might be a little bit more worried for my health. Might take the extra time and see if that chest has anything. But he might just Death Warp at this point, since he's got 1 heart left. We'll see what he decides.
Does 2 hearts change at all from 1 heart? Yeah, I'm gonna go under the bridge.
Yep. And he might use the Death Warp to just get back. Or he'll just die now. Waiting to die later is for losers, apparently. Alright, so Thieves Town was the other crystal, or other pennant, as you mentioned. So Nifboy giving us a nice long look. There'll be a geography quiz at the end of this seed here.
Looks like Patty's opting not for under the bridge now, and just deciding to blow everything up in the room and go straight for Mothula.
Putting the he's using the full suite of tools available to him, which includes fire, explosions, and then smaller amounts of fire from a box. I can appreciate that. All right, Nifboy making the same kind of calculation that Patty did. He's got an inventory full of flippers and hook shots, and he's like, why would the game give me these if it didn't want me to use them?
How many flippers or hook shots could you fit in your inventory?
Well, I always assumed that Link had some kind of weird portable black hole or something, because he's always carrying around just a crap load of stuff.
That's very true. You never actually see Link carrying things around.
Alright, so Fighter Sword Moth kind kind of a rough fight, but for Patty with half magic fire rod and blue mail, he should be okay. Although he just took a ton of spikes to the face.
That was very clutch there. He's almost getting pinned in the corner.
Alright, so it looks like the last item in Skull Woods is under that bridge that you mentioned.
It always sucks to have to go under the bridge, but I can respect going for that gamble on Mothula right away, considering if you have to defeat Mothula anyways, you might as well just check it.
Oh yeah, like it makes total sense. And I have a
Nifboy's
feeling
gonna have another fight here with the pterodactyls.
He just does this screen transition to get rid of him. That is potentially a whole heck of a lot safer than taking murder dactyls to the face.
And it was just an arrow upgrade inside of Skullwoods.
Boo. Patty said, I wonder what's up these stairs, and then apparently it was nothing of interest. Alright, so both runners making pretty logical and similar plays here. You're going past this area, it's a crystal dungeon. You might as well do it while you're here, who knows what you'll find. They were rewarded with boots.
Exactly. And
so Patty's gonna have the decision in front of him. He'll probably check out the Village of Outcasts area. And then he'll have to consider, do I want to stick around inside of Thieves Town or do I want to go down to Hype Cave?
yeah, that's very true. I mean, at this point in time, with it being a pendant on Thieves Town, I think most runners would check the first floor there, the first like little entranceway with the 4 chests, and then clear out the rest of the Village of Outcasts and then head south, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, and we have to remember too that there is a 100% accessible Power Glove in the library in Kakariko. So runners might decide, you know, hey, I'm gonna put off this Thieves Town until I really have to come back here, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, gloves gives them access to a whole chunk of Death Mountain.
Yeah, I feel with a lot of items to check, a save and quit just for the glove. I mean, I guess, yeah, you get up to Death Mountain with that too, so there's more items available. But if you gotta save and quit at some point anyways, might as well just do it at the end of your route.
Yeah, agreed. Although with no hammer and no mirror, Tower of Hera is still not accessible.
Yeah, exactly. At least they can't get fire locked out of it.
Did you just try to sell me on the upside of Hera being that you can at least do the basement of Hera?
Yeah, the least favorable part of it you can do.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure I understood you correctly. Because that sounded awful.
It is pretty awful. It may be a coffee break, but it's not worth it.
Well, unless you're really thirsty and or tired.
That's true. You can have yourself a like 15-20 second nap.
All right, so Patty opting to skip out on the Thieves Town check, respectable. And he says, you know what's more exciting than going to Thieves Town? Manual labor. I'm gonna dig for a while.
Yeah, it could be any digs between 1 and 30. It'll be the same for both runners.
And all those small magic drops, less useful when your stun prize pack is a full magic refill. Oh wow, it's late, closer toward that 30.
26, 27, 28.
Yikes. Can
That's
he escape before the timer gets down? Oh, nope.
It's a lot of digs for a quarter heart.
Alright, so Patty will probably check Old Stumpy here and then make his way over to Hype Cave. Nifboy going a little less ham on his Mothula fight. But he has also eaten significantly less spiky blocks than Patty did.
Overall, for both runners with half magic, making that an absolutely easy fight.
Yeah, both runners executed that pretty well. Alright, time to see what's in Hype Cave. I'm expecting a solid 7 out of 10 Hype Cave level here.
I can agree on that with having nothing else elsewhere.
Well, I mean, we got that glove. I don't know. Heart container sucks. $20 sucks. Oh my god, we've already below. Oh no. Oh, I'm so wrong.
I'm calling that a -2 out of 10.
I'm gonna have to turn in my Hype Cave Estimation Card Club membership, which is a really weird club with a name we really need to workshop.
Right, so at this point, our options are pretty much open up Pod, do Thieves Town, or go to Death Mountain. I feel Death Mountain is looking better and better as time goes on.
Pretty much. Although I'm not sure. I think Patty's gonna go pick up Silvers while he's here.
Yeah, almost forgetting about him. Has boots now too, so might as well get it done now.
Yep. Could have grabbed him while you were on your way over here after picking up the gloves, but maybe he doesn't intend on going into Death Mountain quite yet.
Yeah, very true.
Either way, silver arrows are always welcome. I mean, who knows when some vampires are going to show up in the middle of Hyrule? What are you supposed to do then, huh?
Well, I don't recall any thus far in the series. But who knows what the next installment has.
Exactly. I mean, there's no garlic rod. Although if there was, that would be delicious.
But considering this is... I'm pretty sure this is the only game with silvers, isn't it?
You could be right, but I'm not confident enough in my Zelda lore to give that a 100% affirmative.
Yeah. I know Zelda 2 there isn't. Zelda 1 I have no knowledge about. But all the other ones, I don't recall silvers at all. I mean, I guess a light arrow could work. Banish the darkness.
Chad is trying to correct me with werewolves versus vampires. It's worth noting that an arrow with a silver tip is still just a big stake, right? So that was 100% intentional. Or not. Alright, Patty picking up his glove.
Can now handle some mediocre heat. That oven.
That's true. I mean, the runners have been handling the heat with all the items that they've acquired thus far already.
I'm almost wondering how there isn't like some holes in their clothes or something, because of how hot it is. And it looks like a desert play for Patty.
Yeah, I mean, the book is, you know, can be a hint. I mean, you've got everything you need to clear the dungeon. And it's a crystal. So, it seems like a reasonable play to me. Being able to tie this together with Meyer is usually the goal, but since Meyer is dependent, you're not really sure, you know, if you're ever going to set foot in that dungeon.
Yeah, exactly. Like, generally wanting to do them at the same time, but if you have access to this now and can full clear it, I don't see any problem with just doing it. That's also what I've found a lot with this logic, is if you have what you need to finish a dungeon and it's a required dungeon, might as well just get it out of the way while you can now. Maybe it'll lead to something later.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly just about, I think, routing efficiency, really. You know, can I tie these in together without sacrificing too much time if there's no progression?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we wouldn't be boot locked out of here, but having the boots already.
Be curious to see if the game put progression on the torch. It did not, so boots 100% not required for desert. Meanwhile, Nifboy picking up his gift of literacy from a strange creature that turns into a stump, so I'm not sure how that works. Maybe he's just a fan of reading Rainbow.
I don't know. It's a pretty literate stump, though.
I mean, what else is he supposed to do while he's sitting there waiting for the, you know, the hero to come talk to him? He's got to pass the time somehow.
That's very true, but how many times could you read the Book of Modora before getting bored?
Speaking of bored, this lame cave on that Nifboy is checking out, I can't believe anyone would expect there to be a 7 out of 10 potential of hype in that cave.
Who would think that way? I don't know.
Yeah, that whoever that guy is needs to turn in his card to whatever club he might be a member of.
think Land Molas has our second item here inside Desert.
That is correct. One of them was on the torch, and then the rest of it was garbage.
Pretty sure that one is still on the torch.
Well, that's true, but it also was on a torch in the past, too.
Oh, Nifboy doing some bonk rocks here. I don't recall Patty doing that.
Patty did check them. It was a quarter hard. Yep, there we go.
Just something insignificant at this point in time. Can help, but not overly required.
Seen some nice DoorDash strats from Patty here. Clearly familiar with the NMG strats.
I am
Going through
more
Desert Palace with
familiar
the boots is always nice.
Yeah, I'm more familiar with the smash my face on the wall and then bounce back halfway across the room.
Those are strats we all know. Sometimes those strats come up even when you're not trying to do them. So we see Nifboy picking up those silvers now. Always a good choice.
Yeah, Silver's making this seed a lot easier for boss fights, I'd say. Just being able to destroy them easily with arrows.
Patty going for the Silver Arrows Landmo swag strats. Oh, and unfortunately does get a 2-cycle. Oh my gosh, are we getting what I think we're about to get on the left side of the screen over here, Cursed Aether? Because I think we are.
Is that the pedestal dream in front of us about to die?
Oh man, tears will be shed. I'm at the edge of my seat.
Everyone's hoping for Ice Rod. But nope. just a little piece of love.
Get wrecked, pedestal lovers. Well, that could be, that could be an important piece of information for. Oh wow, Nifboy just getting worked over in that tunnel there. Yikes.
And whilst we were checking Ped here on Nifboy's side, Patty ended up finishing off Desert and is now checking Agahna's cave.
Yeah, odds of Agahna having progression pretty low at this point, but you're already here, so why run the risk?
Yeah, exactly. And it'll be interesting to see where Patty decides to head off to next with having access to Death Mountain.
It's pretty much Death Mountain, Palace of Darkness, and Catfish right now, unless my crazy old man memory is making me forget about another spot.
Exactly. And looks like we're going for Death Mountain. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I'd say if you're chasing, the way the seed sent you, going to Death Mountain at this point with the items that have been given to you seems like the correct play. But that doesn't always mean that it's, the play the seed wants you to go through.
Exactly. There is a lot of items to be had here up on Death Mountain, so we'll see what...
Watching Patty get worked over by that blue guard was worth the price of admission.
Now, if you focus on his sprite whilst that's happening, and, literally all the limbs of Cactuar is just going crazy, it makes it a lot more funny.
Yeah, the custom sprites in this randomizer are just glorious. All right, Nifboy making his way up, having the same problem Patty did. All right,
is this even randomized?
Wow, so vanilla, gross. Well,
right,
that'll mean that
leads to an easy Hera check. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. So maybe the joy of checking the Hera basement could be ours together as they go into that dungeon. We'll have to see.
The joy. I mean, it's no harm on me for them to do it, so I'm down. Oh, and there's our other oven mitt.
Wow, we've got 2 gloves now. We can put 2 pizzas in the oven and take them out at the same time. If that's not the American dream, Cursed Aether, I don't know what is.
I mean, I do like myself some pizza, so I am down.
This also means that after they get done checking Hera, they've got both the light and dark side of Death Mountain to check.
Having all the items to do so actually makes that really nice, because then you don't have to route this back in other than a potential ether tablet, but that's relatively easy to get to.
Poor Patty, those fairies. Much like in real life, the cute, attractive fairies just did not want to go anywhere near him. That's right, sick bird.
Hit him where it hurts. Oh.
in the health pool.
I feel those dead rocks are helping him with that, taking down his life a little bit, being in his way. And instead of checking Hera, I'm gonna go over to the East Death Mountain and do that check first. Maybe there's a potential hammer to lead him back.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many chests over here. Clearing this area in the most efficient way possible is definitely important. Neither runner opting to do a save and quit or bomb jump outside of the mid grab, though.
I feel with boots, it's not that bad of a time loss to run it, but...
Yep, very true.
Looks like Patty almost forgot to go upstairs.
Yeah, I think that's happened to every runner at some point. Oh, got a Waffle House drive-by there. It seems like every runner, like, in your mind, you've entered the room, so it feels like you've checked the area, and then you just forget to bomb the wall or go upstairs. But we pick ourselves up a hammer and the Master Sword in Paradox Cave.
So now we can route an Ether Tablet with Hera. So overall, I feel coming over here before Hera seemed to be the better play.
Yeah, that's ended up working out quite well, and it looks like both runners are going to have real similar routing here.
Patty has opted to walking off the edge twice, and then leaves.
Maybe he just really likes that set of stairs. Wanted to experience it twice.
Yeah, very true. Heading off into Dark World now. We'll leave Spiral Cave for later. And we'll see what Super Bunny as well as Hookshot Cave has for us, as well as a potential TR check.
Yeah, I mean, well, we know where the last medallion is. We know Ether is on Lake Hylia Island, and now that we have the mirror, it is accessible even if Turok might not be.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this is crazy. We are potentially an ice rod away from go mode right now, I believe, unless I've incorrectly deduced this. Ooh, red mail in Super Bunny Cave. That's always nice.
Yeah, looking at it, only thing I can see is just that ice rod.
I mean, but the seed's been so generous already. You know, why not have ice rod be in the bottom of Pendant Mire or something? It's certainly possible.
Yeah, that's true. Put it on like Laser Bridge TR so that you'd want to stay away from there as long as possible.
I like how you and I just went to like the worst options immediately. I love it.
I feel TR is a little nicer than Mire at that point in time.
That's fair.
Or give it to Sahasrara with that green pendant. It's always possible.
Oh, we're about to find out. Wow, did Patty even look at the floating island in Death Mountain there, or is he blind checking it?
I don't recall a check on it.
Okay, so Ether required for Totorock. So the runners are going to have to route in the Lake Hylia check.
And I would say that is a blind check for a big 20.
So Patty's about to find out the Ether news as well here. Both runners do know that Ether is on Lake Hylia. They both have seen it. Patty using the hookshot invincibility to dodge the Lionel Fireball there. Very nice.
And it's always nice to have the hookshot for that reason. It looks like we're going to get our Ether tablet check here. Just a heart piece.
Not what you want to see. It would have been super flavorful if the Ether tablet had the the cold shooting ice rod. I feel like that would have been a lore win.
That would have been interesting, as well as put them in Go mode, which would mean we have a lot of Go mode dungeons to do to see what kind of lower time we could get. To have a 50-minute go time would be insane.
Yeah, that would be incredible. So nifboy leaving his portal placement where he did makes me wonder if he's not interested in routing in like Burn a Spike Cave in after Hera, just in case Hera doesn't have Ice Rod. Be curious to see if Patty opts to check that after Hera.
It is a decent amount of time to sink into it, but if you're gonna check really all of Death Mountain here, that's the only place left. Oh no, Patty.
Oh, Patty's just softballed himself. So for those of you that don't know, Patty was attempting the coffee break strats. And if you are exactly between the corners of those crystal switch blocks when they go up, you can lock yourself in between them and be unable to move.
Yeah, it's never nice. Your only way out is mirror or save and quit.
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was pretty nice.
Well, overall, all it has done is put our runners closer together.
Exactly.
But I guess that's pretty nice for a standby watching person.
Well, I mean, you Curse Aether, you seem to enjoy the Hera basement so much, so this just means you get to see more of it. It's got to be a win-win for you.
I mean, so long as I'm not the one doing the Hera basement, then I'm okay with it.
I mean, that's fair. We're enjoying our position of power from the commentator's booth.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for me, it's coffee break all the time, so it's perfectly okay.
Alright, so Patty will be picking up his large key and mirroring the H out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he wanted to hold that B bottle first.
The B that the sick kid didn't eat. He decided not to.
I mean, he had his heart set on the $20 for, lunch, and
That's very true. He's like, Subway sounds good, and then someone comes along and just takes it.
Yeah, it's hard to consume a bee when you had your heart set on eating fresh. Both of these runners having a little trouble on the second floor of Hera here. A couple of missed crystal switches, a couple of floor fall downs, so clearly the pressure's getting to him. This is a hype match.
Yeah, exactly. And us knowing that they're neck and neck here, but them not, can definitely see that the pressure could be getting to them here. And it looks like Moldorm has our last item.
Because why not? I feel like it's so rare to get all the way to Hera and actually have the boots and hook shots, so you don't have to set up a bomb jump or anything crazy. Oh, nifboy! Oh no!
Oh, it's never nice. Trying to get the nice dash bonk there, but ended up just grabbing the big chest. Very unfortunate, but not too hard to get back up.
No, it's...
And with the Master Sword here, 3 spins on Moldorm will do the trick.
Moldorm going in for the hug, but Patty keeping him at arm's length there. Very, very well executed Moldorm there by Patty.
Yeah, having the sword extended, allowing him to stay on the ledge instead of being knocked off. Very nice.
Alright, we'll see how nifboy does here. If he gets 3 clean spins, he'll have done this just slightly faster than Patty and made up some time. Ah!
Yeah, and definitely when you've already had 2 spins in, you want to get a 3rd one in rather than a poke or a slash. Otherwise, you'll enter an enraged form of Moldorm.
Yeah, but nifboy correctly pulls off the 3rd spin there. So we do see Patty entering Burn a Spike Cave here.
Yeah,
nifboy will most likely jump down and check it using the portal down there after Hera here.
Yeah, it seems to be the case. And now all that's separating our 2 runners here is that Desert Palace.
So nifboy opting to pick up this heart container. so he is going to be checking Burner Spike Cave. This is just solid routing. You know, there's no reason to skip this and leave one area. I do like this.
Yeah, exactly. Just being able to fully clear out Death Mountain, in reality, it's very good to do. We'll see where Patty's gonna go next here.
Is this a swamp play?
That could be true. Could be Bombos Tablet, could be K45, but looks like swamp, potentially.
This is an interesting play. I kind of like it. If you're trying to meta, a lot of people are gonna put off doing swamp because they don't want to. Yeah, you have to open the dam before you can swim in swamp. Unfortunately, a lot of people are gonna put off swamp because they think it's a long and lame dungeon. And when you're one item away from go mode, you feel like you want to put off this dungeon. So what Patty might be thinking is, you know, I'm gonna do the back of swamp, and then, you know, there's so many chests on the way to Vitreous, so he might be kind of banking on that play.
Exactly. Now, I also just thought of something. Patty didn't go back and do Spiral Cave afterwards. So maybe that will sit in the back of his mind for a bit, unless he somehow checked it without me realizing. But I remember him falling down the hole there in Paradox Cave and then ended up going into Dark World.
Oh, you could be right. As soon as you said it, I had a panic attack. Like, oh god, did he not do it and I missed it?
Right, and we have a little bit of a route divergence here. Nifboy's gonna head off into Pod instead.
Alright, so we talked a little bit about Patty's play. I also like Nifboy's play here. He's already been to Eastern. He's already cleared it out, so he knows there's not a whole lot of value in putting off, you know, Palace of Darkness from his standpoint. So just getting this done and checking the 5 chests that are in Palace of Darkness for the Ice Rod seems like a pretty solid play from his point of view.
Yeah, exactly. And normally you're spending a lot of time in Pod anyways, trying to find that big key. So overall, you're opening quite a few chests.
Agreed. I'd say the only way this backfires is if the big key is on the the bowlock chests over here that he's on his way to pick up. That would kind of suck.
Yeah, exactly. Because then it would be like a really nice go mode kind of thing. And but with both runners looking for that Ice Rod to enter go mode, you never know where it could end up at this point in time. And a powder.
Oh, it's a nice safety. And potentially another fetch quest item. It'll be the moment of truth for Patty here. If he's planning on going straight to the back of Swamp, we're going to find out in about 5 seconds here.
Yeah, we already know that there is an item on the left-hand side there, though, just due to finding that compass. I'm not sure what the first chest had.
And Nifboy attempting to do the bonk down there, got a little caught up. Does get it the second time. Setting up that bonk is a little bit harder than it looks.
And rocking 3 small keys in the Palace of Keys already.
Yeah. So many keys in the Palace of Darkness. Meanwhile, Patty is entering kind of the juicy part of Swamp Palace, if I may. Just filled with chests. Unfortunately, those chests have art pieces in them, so lame.
Still on the quest for the mythical Sankart. And finding that big key, gonna go back and check the big chest. I would also assume with finding the big key and like opting to go do that, you would check the left-hand side as well, knowing there's items there.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised if you're planning on coming back into Swamp Palace. Sometimes it makes sense to just finish up Argus while you're kind of in the area, and then just walking back into the swamp and doing the big key and then the left side kind of all in one go.
Right, exactly. I see half the people do the walk back here, as well as half restarting the dungeon really after defeating the boss. But just a big green rupee inside that big chest.
not that exciting. If you're just joining us, we are on the quest for the ice rod. It was a very item-packed start for these runners, and they've had a little bit of divergence, but now it's the which dungeons do I want to not go mode decision chain right now.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I've seen anything too significant come out of...
Oh, Jesus.
Alright, so technically 2 fetch quest items, but that's about it.
So we've got what was it? Powder and shovel, both in Palace of Darkness. Gross.
Yeah, exactly. And both of them knowing where Ether is located, so they don't have to really worry too much on that. They could just leave that for when they want to go to TR.
Yep. Yeah, I would imagine that both runners will pick up Ether on their way to Ice Palace.
Yeah, that would make the most sense at this point in time.
Ooh, a delicious Tempered Sword pickup for Nifboy there. That could actually be pretty significant for a minute or two of time savings. You know, if Ice Rod ends up being not in an easy accessible location, it could be that Nifboy finishes the game with a higher level sword than Patty does.
Yeah, exactly. Finding a nice hot Cheeto is always respectable.
Alright, here's a question for you, Kirsty. Do you prefer Flamin' Hot Cheetos or the jalapeno cheddar Cheetos? Our friendship depends on your answer to this question. I want you to know that.
I mean, depends which one's spicier. I would assume jalapeno would be spicier, but I'm gonna go with jalapeno.
That was the correct answer. Friendship saved. Good work. Although the Flamin' Hot Cheetos are not awful, just the jalapeno ones are really good.
Gotcha.
I'm seeing a lot of jalapeno cheddar love in the chat, so chat, you are also my friend still. Speaking of things that are not friendly, Patty discovering that the left side of Swamp hold only tears and sadness, and not the ice rod.
Very unfortunate, because Go Mode Swamp is probably one of my favorite dungeons, because you open one single chest the entire time, and then you just head to the
it's so
back.
fast. And then Patty was he was trying his best to clear it with the way the big key showed up, but ended up full clearing Swamp and perhaps not the most efficient way. So it definitely cost him more time than he would have liked to spend here.
Yeah, exactly. And then now it depends on if those items Nifboy has picked up lead to anything or not. And I've seen a couple fetch quests lead into fetch quests before, so we'll see where that mushroom turns out to be in this seed as well.
Alright, so we got ourselves a Master Sword Argus fight. Patty attempting to go for the double hook shot single hammer to hit 2 strats. A bold play, I like it.
Yeah, it saves the menu time as well if you're using the hammer. But with 2 slashes required or 1 spin to kill each puffball there, not necessarily the best thing you could do.
But well executed. Like a couple of these have been definitely faster. Just Argus isn't being super cooperative with his movement pattern, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. And Nifboy finishing off the Helmsar King.
Patty does get the swag silver arrow kill on Argus there. Very nice. Alright, so both runners holding aloft 2 entirely separate crystals in dungeons that, as far as we know, had complete and total garbage in them.
Yeah, very true. Both with 4 dungeons completed. Unfortunately for Nifboy, it is a pendant, but looks like the Ice Palace play, or maybe just picking up that Ether.
I feel like if you're in the area, getting Ice Palace done feels nice, but you know, much like how you mentioned, Swamp is really nice to do in Go mode. Ice Palace is also like another great dungeon to not have to full clear if you don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. So at this point in time, I feel it's dependent upon the shovel as well as the powder now to what might be Go mode for us. If those lead to what we need, then these searches for Patty will put him further and further behind. But we won't know until those decide to show up.
Oh, Patty decided to chill in Ice Palace here. We'll see if nifboy does the same. It looks like he's heading that direction.
Yeah, very, very nice to do Ice Palace, but at the same time, those item checks could be what you need, but they are a little bit out of the way without that flute.
Very true. So we have both runners simultaneously trying to cool this Seed's hot heart with a cool island song. And no fast ice because that first chest was not a smoky.
Yeah, with looking for Ice Rod, I don't think it's going to be fast. I mean, it could have just been Ice Rod in there and we'd be on our way, but not this time.
Alright, so with both runners having access to Hookshot and Cane of Samaria, and wanting to full clear this dungeon, depending on how comfortable they are with their bomb jumps, they could actually opt to skip out on the traditional Ice Palace bomb jump and use Samaria and Hookshot to full clear ice. Or if they're feeling tricksy, they can utilize bomb jumps to speed it up just a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. It's when you have to full clear it anyways. It doesn't really make a difference if you do it or not. Patty opting out of it, having Samaria as well, so pretty easy.
nifboy with a nice Stealthos room recovery there. Missed the bomb drop and snuck back up and got it in. That was very nice. And it looks like nifboy will also be skipping the bomb jump here as well. No? Oh, okay, that was not an intentional
Yeah,
door.
Flipped the switch, and then went to flip it back, and the jelly got in the way.
The other thing he's wanting to flip that jelly is the bird after that one. Get it? Because flipping is the what you do to a switch. Here's Dather, so that's...
I get it.
But, okay.
100%. It'd be funnier if it was a bird. But it's a jellyfish.
Alright, so Patty doing the bomb jump list, but slightly faster full clear version if you're not going to bomb jump Ice Palace route. And it looks like nifboy is doing much of the same here.
Yeah, it looked like that anti-fairy was knocking Patty around a little bit, but getting the big key now. Slightly different routes, though, for both runners. I think Patty took the southern route, whereas... Or I guess southern, as in lower floor route.
Yeah, I did just realize that, yeah.
Upper.
I was busy thinking up my next stupid pun, man. These things don't just happen.
They come from a mastermind.
I feel like you're giving me too much credit.
Too much credit? No.
It's not possible to give less than 0 credit files.
Exactly.
Can't divide by 0.
Fun fact, those of you with an iPhone and have Siri, ask Siri what 0 divided by 0 is. You'll be very pleased.
Nice little thing you guys might have seen from Patty there. Since we're literally 1 item away from go mode, Patty opted to pick up that treasure chest right next to the spikes just on the off chance that Ice Rod happened to be there. That would have saved him an entire upstairs check. So,
yeah, exactly.
Little things like that can definitely differentiate, how people are thinking about their routing while they're clearing with 1 item away from go mode. Because if that had been Ice Rod, he'd have been done looking. Wow, Ice Palace not paying out. I think there's 1 item left in this frozen wasteland.
Yeah, not finding the cold things in the cold places. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, this seed has had every opportunity in the world to score lore points for me. Ice Rod on the Ether Tablet, that would have been great. Ice Rod in the Ice Palace, that would have made tons of sense.
I mean, we still have a Bombos check, don't we? It could be in the hot place.
But see, that would make me sad.
Have like a slightly damp, half-melted ice rod.
It's like the popsicle that you couldn't eat right away in the summer when your mom gave it to you as a kid. So it sat there in the wrapper for a while, and it's kind of all gross, but you still enjoy it anyway because, you know, ice cream.
Yeah. Oh, you'd get all sticky, though. That would just be very unfortunate. Alright, Patty heading on into the Cold Stare fight has bombos, can make this very nice with magic.
Nifboy will have Tempered Sword for this fight, though, so has the potential to complete it just a little bit faster. It'll depend on if Patty's able to cluster the Cold Stare clouds together. He does. And he's going to Pew Pew Fire Rod here.
It doesn't keep them in the corner, but has half magic as well as Fire Rod. Fire Rod doing Butter Sword damage here in this fight, so makes it pretty easy.
Nobody puts Cloud Baby in the corner.
Cloud Baby.
Just trying to make a Footloose reference. I'm trying, man.
I've only seen bits and pieces of Footloose.
Alright, so despite getting a little away from him, Patty just managed to finish up Cold Stare. With Red Tunic and half magic, that fight was pretty straightforward.
And with Cold Stare dropping a key there, that means technically Samaria was required for this dungeon. Logic-wise, anyways.
Alright, so Nifboy finishing up Ice Palace. So now we see Patty making his way up toward Eastern, which I'm really curious to see. I think it's a foregone conclusion that he's going to clear out Palace of Darkness. But whether or not he decides to stick around and also clear out Eastern Palace could be a real differentiator in this seed. Because that will give Nifboy a little bit time to catch up, since he has already cleared Eastern.
Overall, though, with having Mirror to just go straight into Eastern afterwards, it's a little bit faster than Nifboy's earlier on clear.
Yeah, very true.
Unfortunately, with Armos having an item, Patty will feel inclined to head to the backside.
Although I don't think Patty has checked Pedestal. I think that was only Nifboy. So Patty might be more inclined to spend time getting a penance since he doesn't know for sure that the Pedestal Dream is dead.
Yeah, that's actually very nice to point out.
Pedestal is as dead as my ability to make references to 80s dance movies correctly.
Yeah, I noticed chat having it out for you there.
yeah, it was Dirty Dancing. Too much adult beverage, apparently.
Another movie I've only seen bits and pieces of.
Alright, so Nifboy, I like this play. He's making his way over to Desert. He's got everything he needs to clear it out. Relatively quick dungeon. Since you don't have flutes, it's not really going to get more convenient than right now, most likely.
No, it's almost unfortunate not to do the Bombos check at the same time here. Just because you're heading off into the desert, it would almost seem nicer to just jump off the ledge and head on in, but it would be an extra trek to go get the portal.
Like, if you're a believer in kind of reading seed logic, since Agahnim was kind of, immediately accessible at the beginning of the game, and, the logic was so convoluted to get you access to the Dark World, the odds of Agahnim having something important are pretty low. But the Ice Rod's kind of a special item because literally all it unlocks is, Crystal Turtle Rock. It's a little bit harder to read where the logic decided to put Ice Rod. So knowing when and how to check for chests and what dependencies they have is definitely the mark of runners who have done a lot of these seeds.
Right,
So,
exactly.
Yeah, maybe Nifboy felt that, maybe the Ice Rod could have been there, and maybe Patty checked it very early, and I could be wasting a ton of time if I don't check it right now. That might have been what was going through his head.
And Ice Rod could literally be anywhere other than beyond Trinex. So, can be in any dungeon up till Trinex fight, and it can't be in Ganon's Tower at this point in time.
Those are all true things.
So that leaves a lot of item locations to check.
So while we've got these runners both full clearing dungeons that the other person has already done, Kirstather, I have to know, where do you personally think Ice Rod is? Because I need to know when you're wrong so I can laugh at you. I mean, the audience wants to know.
Thieves Town. Neither runner opted to go in there. I'm saying it's in Thieves Town.
My personal gamble is on Turtle Rock, not because of the troll, but because like you couldn't even go in there when you were up there checking with the way the seed let you. It's like you would have had to go to Death Mountain and then back down to pick up Ether and then back up to go, you know, all the way into Turtle Rock. So just because of the seed, you know, going for maximum troll, I'm thinking it's in Turtle Rock.
That's understandable. And now are you going to put it as far down in Turtle Rock as you can? Or are you going to be nice and let them, like, feel relieved at the start?
I'm going to make vague, non-committal statements about where it is in Turtle Rock, so that way I increase the chances of being right.
Oh, okay, so you'll never actually reveal the location. Just when it appears, you'll be like, I got it.
Yeah, I'll be like, oh, I see, I told you it was there. And then when it ends up being in Mimic Cave, I'll be like, well, technically Mimic Cave is really in Turtle Rock. So that gives me an extra location. So,
that's true.
Yeah, it's the same way I do the Ganon's Tower Big Key game. I just guess rooms, not numbers.
I also guess rooms.
Nice. A fellow cheater. Always nice to meet another one.
I mean, I generally go with, like, number 7 when I do it, but it's a specific number 7. And only it's number 7 if it's in that room.
I mean, that's just solid strategy right there. All right, we're gonna have to see how Nifboy opts to take this Landmillis fight. There's kind of two schools of thought when you're kind of fully equipped like these runners are. Silver Arrows is technically faster, but I would say requires a bit more precise execution. The Fire Rod is a little bit easier to execute, but not quite as fast.
Yeah, exactly. With 2 hits for the Fire Rod to kill one, but you can also put off more shots a lot faster. So
yeah, it's a lot more forgiving.
Easier.
But the the Fire Rod also makes that really satisfying whoosh noise.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I like whoosh. It's pretty nice.
It's the same reason I enjoy Nerf guns. That and the pseudo violence.
Alright, so what kind of cruel thing can we come up with here? Shovel leads to flute, leads to the mushroom at Vitreous, leads to Dice Rod.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that's about it. Considering how short the logic chain was in this seed, it could just be possible that the seed's logic chain was short. But I would not be surprised at all if Flute somehow led to Ice Rod. Like if Ice Rod wasn't either in Mire or if it was somehow in the Mire Shed or Checkerboard Cave or something like that.
Yeah, I'd fully understand if it could be over there as well, especially with us not having access to that yet. It definitely well could be.
All right, so Nifboy appears to be making the same swamp play here.
Looks to be that case, yeah.
And honestly, it's a pretty solid play. It's a solid play for the same reasons it was a solid play when Patty did it. Although, amusingly enough, both Nifboy and Patty forgot that you actually have to flood the dam before you can swim in it. So that is A+. Would commentate again. Good stuff right there.
Yeah,
it's like jumping into the swimming pool before you filled it up.
Oh, on those hot summer days. Gonna get some nice, refreshing pool water, and nope.
We've been talking about delicious ice cream treats and the heat and swimming, so it must be getting close to summer in the parts of the world we're in, because it's on the mind.
That's true. It's very true. Although here it is raining, but
yeah, fair enough.
I mean, that would have helped. That would have helped fill the Swamp Palace, though.
That's true. I mean, it would have to be a lot of rain, but it would help.
Yeah, very true. Patty knocking out Helmazar King very easily, getting another crystal into their name.
Now it's going to be what Patty does right now will be very important, because if he gets out his mirror, he will lose a whole bunch of time. He doesn't.
I feel he's going to go check Pyramid Fairy or Catfish.
Or perhaps both.
Very true.
Yeah, I do like the Fat Fairy play, mostly because it's something we haven't seen yet, so we'll get to perhaps see if Ice Rod is there. But combining that with Catfish is a pretty solid move here, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Patty appears to be skipping pendant dungeons with a vengeance at this point. And I can't say I blame him.
Yeah, I feel like unless you have to go into the pendant dungeon, it's almost a smart play to avoid it. Oh, actually, I think we're gonna get our shovel check.
Oh, yep. As soon as he stops getting spears thrown at him. The run animation for that Cactar is like, it's funny every time I see it. Like, I keep waiting for it to get old, and it doesn't.
It's impossible to get old with Cactuar.
Yeah, worth pointing out that these runners did do this loop without the mirror, so they've got the South of Grove location here. They've also got North of Graveyard to check, as well as King's Tomb. So there's definitely a few kind of one-off locations that they need to check.
Yeah, exactly. And now with having Powder, I'm pretty sure neither of them have saved the Smith yet either. So a few things to obtain there.
And it's not having access to flute is a really good. It's kind of a really good test of routing. Wow, that is a blue rod-like item, but man, is it not the one we want.
I was about to shout out, there it is! Oh, wait.
So maybe if I take this cane and I yell at it, it'll shoot out ice instead of blue sparkles.
I mean, at least it sparkles.
You could be the prettiest Princess Cactar. That's got to count for something, right?
Yeah. Just need a dress on there and good to go.
Worth pointing out that Nifboy is full clearing swamp, but the route that he's taking is actually a little bit more efficient than the route Patty took, since he's committing to the full clear earlier. So all Nifboy will have to do is go back down the stairs, grab the big key chest, and then go back and fight Argus.
Yeah, exactly.
So he'll save, I mean, not a ton of time, but in a race that's close like this, when you're just looking for one item, sometimes that time can make all the difference.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
unfortunately, that big chest only has a green rupee.
The single troll rupee. While Patty deciding to go back in for the fairy in the bottle, he's still jealous by from being spurned by all the fairies that were beneath Spectacle Rock and Death Mountain. He's still carrying that with him, and that's understandable.
Yeah, very true. And we'll see what our breadsmiths have this time around.
$20.
That was their lunch money too.
Well, technically you pay them. Do you pay them $10 or $20 for the Tempered Sword upgrade in Vanilla? I don't remember. I'm so bad at this. I don't know why they're letting me do it.
I mean, I've never thought they charged for it. I thought it was just like a generous thing they did because you saved them.
Yeah, you had to pay them a little bit of money. See, the Hylian economy is all screwed up. You pay $500 for flippers, but you pay like 10 or 20 bucks for potentially the biggest sword upgrade in the game. All right, so fetch quest number 1, actually fetch quest number like 5. Not paying out. The Mad Bat only gives out an arrow capacity upgrade. All right, so chat is very angrily yelling at me that it's 10. Thanks, chat. So 10 rupees for the Tempered Sword upgrade.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah. I mean, heck, you pay
for a weapon of mass destruction.
I mean, you also saved that frog's life. I mean, he is a frog that was right next to a cliff that he could have just jumped down to escape.
I'm pretty sure he could have found his way home.
But, maybe leading him home and utilizing your Magic Mirror taxi service, that's got to be worth something. That's all part of that $10 fee.
Yeah, he could have just saved and quit and then hopped on back to the smith shop. He would have been fine.
But I'm a bit surprised that Patty opted not to take the blue chest over to Gary. Maybe he was like, oh crap, I totally forgot about Fat Fairy and wanted to check that first.
Yeah, very true, because now if he were to do the purple chest at all, he still has to walk this whole route again.
Yeah, I mean, and again, we talked about it a little bit, but not having the flute means planning out your walking and your routing is very important. as far as the time saves that you can make if you're in a situation like this where you're having to look for one item. Nifboy showing us the very rarely seen left side of upper Swamp Palace there. And he's rewarded with that single green rupee you mentioned.
Yeah. Oh, not happy about that at all.
Oh, that's funny. We had Patty showing us the giant orange bomb, and Nifboy blowing up on the other side. We had bombs in stereo, and Patty finding yet another fetch quest with that mushroom.
Yeah. Okay. It'll be interesting to see where this one leads us, as well as a catfish check.
Well, this routing actually works out super well because I had a feeling that Patty was going to be heading up here to go do, you know, catfish. So he'll be able to just drop off this mushroom on the way.
Yeah. Exactly.
So even if this gives him nothing but sadness and anger, at least it was efficient. So he's got that going for him.
Alright, how much does our mushroom cost this time around? And whilst we wait on that, Nifboy heading off into the Argus fight.
Yeah, we'll see what's just, you know, he has Tempered Sword here, whereas Patty only had Master Sword. So his fight will be a little faster. And wow, there's the flute.
Wasn't I saying something about like flute into the mushroom? But that's the mushroom into the flute.
I want you to know that if you were right, I'll never admit it. I feel that's important to say. Both runners getting the one-shot silver arrow Argus kill. Very nice. That boss is annoying. If you try to go for the single silver arrow kill and miss, he runs all over the map and it's super annoying.
Yeah, very true. Patty opting for the skull here. I personally feed the catfish the grass. I feel he's a vegetarian, but going for the skull, it's respectable. Getting a heart piece.
Yeah, the skull is, you know, it sends catfish a message, and that message is give me the ice rod or this could be your head. But the catfish is not easily bullied.
Yeah. And here is our bombos check.
Yeah, Patty a little lucky that Gary's chest ended up not having the ice rod. Oh, I saw the blue and I was all ready to be excited. Although, you know what? We're talking about lore wins. Bombs in the Bombos tablet, eh? Eh?
Yeah. And better yet, it's the 10 bomb drop that your uncle would give you at the start of the game.
That's true.
So 2 fetch quest items actually led to blue items. The mushroom leading into the flute and the shovel leading into the burnout.
Yeah, that's very true. Man, there's all kinds of like Illuminati, you know, like color theory, conspiracy stuff going on in this seed. I'm liking it.
And the next trifecta will be like, you're gonna try to do all the pendant dungeons, and the ice rod won't be until the last one you do.
I'm honestly a bit surprised that none of these runners have made the crazy call to just go into Turtle Rock without the ice rod, since this is version 29. But
yeah,
if you're
actually very true.
If you're Patty, following this flute for items is, I think, a pretty smart play.
And both runners this time around actually make sure they remember they had done Aga, so...
Yeah, taking the Hyrule Castle Dark World portal does save you time if you're doing the Fat Berry check.
Yeah, exactly.
Myers Shed not paying out for Patty, so he'll check Checkerboard Cave here, which is fun to say. And then after that, he'll have to think really long and hard about, do I go into Misery Mire?
Yeah, with 2 items being within Misery Mire, as well as the green pendant, if you don't find Ice Rod in those 2 items, would you even continue on? But it looks like Patty is going elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, with the green pendant. Oh, is this the Turtle Rock play right here? Oh, he gets dead rocked.
Seems to be, but gets dead rocked.
Oh god, I would flute away on principle just to reset this map, because screw those guys.
He wants the old man kisses, but got dead rocked again, and it looks like
he's gonna die.
Actually
He almost made it.
Going for the play too.
Awesome.
So those dead rocks just completely erased what lead he had, even though it was only like 4 seconds.
Wow.
But...
So Nifboy pulling ahead, deciding to skip the rest of the mushroom chain. and going straight to Turtle Rock. Wow, this match just got super close, Cursed Aether. This is awesome. I am psyched.
Definitely. Now, it depends on whether or not Ice Rod is going to be here, or if it's going to be Offenmeyer or Thieves Town. Because if it's here, we have an insanely close race. Neither runner did Spiral Cave.
No, so nifboy saying, all right, before I go all the way through Turtle Rock, how about we check out Spiral Cave? And you know what, that's pretty reasonable. Patty, on the other hand, says, screw Spiral Cave, that place sucks. I'm going into the mountain that has a turtle head on it.
Patty, like, forgot that it was there. Just another blue item, that's fine.
Because why not, right? The seed's just taunting him now.
Yeah, I feel if I was running this, I'd get a blue item and be like, yes, I'm in go mode.
I would just try to use the Cane and Bryna on the Firehead of Trinex. See how that works out. Hint, not very well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think it's gonna work out too well. I mean, you wouldn't get damaged. It's just you won't deal damage either. And both runners making that play into TR.
Yeah, it's good to know that because of that Spiral Cave check, unless Patty opts to do it in the middle of Turtle Rock, which I think you can do with the placements of the portals. So Patty will have gained a little bit of time. He won't lose this game because he wanted to go kiss an old man. I think that's important to point out.
Yeah, that's definitely right. Overall, finding that big key first chest is like the perfect location. Because then you don't have to find that big key if they were in go mode, that is. Like, if they had Ice Rod already, it'd be so nice.
So yes, in Magic Happy Dreamland, where you get to go through dungeons and not have to search every chest, yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, overall, both runners full clearing the game at this point.
Patty taking that roller bar to the face like a champ.
Took that one to the back of his head.
Also very champ-like.
I mean, it's a rolling pin that's decently spiky. Cactuar is pretty spiky.
That's true. Maybe maybe he thought it was like a really tall, attractive Cactuar. He was trying to get phone numbers.
Just rolling around.
I mean, I don't know the Cactuar mating rituals, man. I don't go to the same websites you do. Maybe that's the thing. I'm not here to judge.
Alright, so far, no sign of that Ice Rod. Are we gonna hope it's here, or are both of them going to have to do a double dip?
Well, I banked on Turtle Rock a while ago, so in the interest of just being right, I kind of want it to be here.
Just gonna keep to your word, not gonna change it up.
Nope. No, it's definitely in Turtle Rock. Ooh, Nifboy. Man, Patty took the roller bars to the back of the head, but Nifboy took a laser to the back of the head. I feel like that has the potential to hurt more.
He's wearing a helmet.
That is true. Safety is important.
Patty's got going for him is some, like, spiky red hair.
Oh, Patty's, his key-holding enemy got away from him there.
It's never fun to actually chase that Pokey across the room.
Oh, Nifboy just taking the chomp damage there. Red Mail really doing a lot of work. Those chomps do a ton of damage without armor. Meanwhile, Patty just picked up Butter Sword. That's delicious.
Yeah, that is a soggy Cheeto, as I like to call it now. Imagine like you have your hot Cheeto, and generally you get the Butter Sword from the Wishing Well in Pyramid Fairy. So you're throwing your hot Cheeto into some water, so now all that like hot Cheeto dust has come off. So now it's just really soggy and gross, and it's just left in this yellow color state.
That sounds awful. Yeah, it's like a Cheeto without the dusting.
Yeah, exactly. Not as good as a hot Cheeto, but I mean, in this case, it does a lot more.
Yeah, it's no jalapeno cheddar Cheeto, that's for sure.
Imagine if they did that in the game, how you'd go from like a red sword to a green sword. That would be cool.
I'm excited already.
It has a green handle though, so.
All right, so we got Patty checking Mimic Cave here. One of the many places I have the potential to be right on for ice rod locations, so I'm pretty excited right now. And nothing but sadness.
Unfortunate.
Well, I guess if I found 20 bucks in the ground, I wouldn't be sad. I'd pick it up and be like, all right, think that's dinner. But right now we're looking for ice rod. If Patty was going to do Spiral Cave, he would probably do it after he checked Laser Bridge and Turtle Rock here. So you could mirror out and then go check Spiral Cave, I believe, from that exit there.
Yeah, you can, because you can drop down from above. Only a few item locations left here in TR to look at, though.
It's true, although the bulk of them are at the end of the dungeon here with Laser Bridge area and this chest here.
Did they find... Okay, they did. That menu actually just answered my own question. So there's 4 chests left. One of them is a key. The other 3 are going to be items.
Well, and there's also the item on Trinex himself, but that can't be the ice rod.
That's true. Very true. I mean, at this point in time, the gear they have, I think the only thing that would benefit would be another shield, but...
Yeah, and even that would be borderline. Although a Cactuar with the Riot Shield would be pretty funny. Although Patty didn't pick up the Fire Shield, so we'd miss it. Patty going for the dash laser skips. Very nice. But it does take a laser beam to the face. Not as nice.
Yeah, that second attempt wasn't really a dash. He kind of just ran full speed.
It's they call it laser dash skipping, not laser mosey get knocked off the bridge skipping. Again, we need to workshop that name.
Gonna open up the safety. I can't blame him on that part.
Although this will exclude, I think, the Spiral Cave check. At least the easy version of it.
Yeah, exactly.
But definitely dying costs a lot more time than the Spiral Cave check, so...
Another blue item.
See, now that you pointed it out, I can't unsee it anymore. So
Sandcart.
It's not a rock.
Sandcart in TR, though.
Wow. So what do we got left, Cursed Aether? We've got Thieves Town, which, man, that would just suck. If you're Patty,
Yeah.
you've got to be in full panic mode right now.
Your choices right now for Patty is Spiral, Thieves Town, and Mire, as well as a ped check, because he's not done that yet.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You are correct. Yeah, he does not know if he has pedestal. And boy, if you're Patty, before you go into all these pendant dungeons, I think the urge to, just to confirm if you need to go all the way through for pedestal is got to be weighing on his mind.
Right, and I actually don't think they've done King's Tome either, as well as the behind the graveyard there.
Yeah, the graveyard, like kind of the Dark World North loop, has been skipped because they didn't have the mirror at the time they went through it, or mids.
It's down to who finds this ice rod first at this point in time.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is anyone's race. I mean, we've been through all the dungeons except Thieves Town and Misery Mire. Patty's advantage of not having checked Eastern Palace is still relevant, though, because he does have that flute. He'll have an easier time getting around than Nifboy does.
Yeah, and with having the flute, actually, I feel a Mire check would
They're
almost
both
be
going
better.
to Thieves Town?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
no.
Well, maybe Patty is going to grab the chest and go do that in Vamos Tablet before Thieves Town, maybe? I don't know. It seems like it would be crazy not to do the first 3 chests of Thieves Town.
Looks like Nifboy is actually going to do behind the graveyard there.
Oh yeah, this is solid.
And
I like this idea.
Patty's also going to do it.
Wow, great minds think alike, I guess. Incredible.
Very true. I mean, they're just a couple like one-off locations that could hold what you need. So
I mean, I guess the chances of Ice Rod being in the graveyard aren't dead yet, Cursed Aether.
I see you're still trying.
You're just gonna start sending me pictures of the "you tried" gold star every time I make a terrible joke. But you know what? It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, exactly. Just 50 rupees back here. Not the sparkling ice rod that they need.
Well, there's more tombs to check. Wow, those ghosts just being very rude for nifboy.
That's one of the unfortunate sides of doing Aga. Guess what that was? Another blue item.
Oh god. So nifboy going over to turn in the mushroom. I do like this routing actually. This is really smart, considering what he has not done yet.
Yeah, exactly.
But I have a feeling he'll have a tough choice now because he'll have the choice of, you know, he has to turn in the flute to activate it, but he'll be very close to the Thieves Town area. So it'll be real telling to see if he decides to chase this flute logic, or continue on to check Thieves Town while he's there.
Yeah, I know I had said Thieves Town was the thing to go for.
Also, that flute was another blue item, just saying.
Yeah, it's very true. But I almost feel that chasing that, the flute logic is the way to go about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. Like, you worry, you know, did my opponent not find this flute and I'm going on this huge wild goose chase? Or do I think this is an advantage and do I try to, you know, press my advantage? It's a tough call to make.
Fortunately, Patty getting a red item that time, not a blue item. Getting the boss key. Two more things to check up here.
Where is nifboy going? Did he not do the mirror south of Grovel Edge there?
I feel that must be the case, or is going to check shovel.
Oh, that's true. You're right. I don't think he checked shovel like Patty did.
Yeah, because that would be Burna.
Well played, sir. Well played. Another blue item.
Yeah, exactly. Getting all the blue items that they don't need. Hey, look, the compass. That's kind of blue.
Yeah, there's blue sprites in there. We need to get Eiffel 65 up in this place. Everyone's blue. Thank you for getting that.
Listen up, here's a story.
About a couple runners looking for a blue item. And all day and all night, and everything they did was just search for the rod inside and outside dungeon.
I respect that. It's very nice.
So, front of Thieves Town not paying out. Patty having found that flute before nifboy, but it did not follow it all the way through to Meyer. Although he did make the smart choice of checking Meyer Shed and Checkerboard Cave.
Yeah, exactly.
nifboy is out of mirror locked locations.
Yeah, at the time that Patty did that, it was pretty much the I don't want to do any pendant dungeons, so now has to do a couple.
Oh man.
100 rupees.
Not blue. Not blue at all. I had forgotten that nifboy had not done the frog chain stuff either.
Yeah, exactly. With having purple chest on the table as well, because Patty didn't do that earlier, and would be able to check it with that flute now too.
nifboy, unable to get that hammer item dash working, decides to say screw it. I'm gonna knock down these pegs the old-fashioned way. So for those of you joining us late, we are on a quest for the ice rod right now. And while nifboy left, entered the bottled fairy location, and then went back in the exact same way that Patty did. Very interesting.
Deciding they're gonna opt towards taking the fairy with them, just for safekeeping.
Yeah, why not? With butter sword and red mail and silvers at half magic and powder, you've already got quite a few numbers of safeties, but...
Alright, so at this point, if Blind doesn't have the ice rod, it's in Meyer.
Oh no, Patty! What? What is going on?
So this is a glitched version of the boss fight. Very hard on the eyes, but definitely interesting to see.
He's showing off strats. I like it. See, now this just goes well with the Eiffel 65. You know, like I could see, you know, the techno beat going on right now.
Yeah, he makes it a nearly blind fight, really. So, for some people.
I see what you did there, sir.
Yeah, but not getting much out of it, other than the pendant, in which I'm pretty sure it's still the red pendant. That's not actually the glitched color. But nifboy gonna do that purple chest, though.
Yep. And I'd say at this point, for nifboy not to be an entire dungeon behind, Patty either needs to inexplicably go over to Eastern Palace.
Looks like we're gonna
or
get
he needs
double
to skip Thieves
purple
down.
chest.
So he's activating the flute, and then he's going to fly the chest down. I wonder if he's going to do Minor after this and not do Thieves Town, since he's kind of already committed to skipping it. Wow, would it be incredible if if Ice Rod ended up being in Gary's lunchbox?
I mean, he's gotta keep his food cold, right?
Yeah.
And
So these runners are going to attempt to take the cold pack out of his lunch and, you know, throw away his sandwich.
Patty gonna also route in the Bombos check there, leaving the lunchbox floating in the water.
See, that's why you got to get one of those floating ones. Like, oh my God, it was in.
Actually, though. Alright, we're in go mode on nifboy's side. All that lies between them and Ganon's tower is Trinex.
Wow, so these guys are both going to enter go mode about 10-15 seconds from each other, and it was all because Gary wanted to keep his turkey sandwich fresh. That guy's a jerk.
Actually crazy. So we get the blue item we want, and off to TR we go.
Man, so that flute was just a big bait, and neither one of them. Well, I guess Patty took it a little bit, but didn't take the full Meyer bait.
I got worried that Patty was getting dead rocked again.
Well, you know, he didn't stop to kiss the old man this time.
It was only his selfish desires of wanting to kiss the old man that he got dead rocked before.
That's true. There's like a life lesson, like fable in there somewhere. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, and depending on how you portray colors, we call it a purple chest, but I guarantee some people call it a blue chest.
It's kind of like a blurple, like blue chest.
So if you go with that, a blue chest holds the blue rod.
I had to admit you're right now, because that was good. It hurts me though, like I'm physically, like I'm wounded, like it hurts. It burns, which is why we need the ice rod to cool it down.
Very true, very true.
Alright, so we've got these runners entering Turtle Rock in go mode. I think that was about, I don't know, 15 seconds apart, give or take. So this is a really close race. I mean, after an hour and 48 minutes, it's all come down to execution, which is a cool way to see a seed end, in my opinion. And I have a feeling both runners feel like they're incredibly far behind right now.
Alright, so I just counted it out to when nifboy had gone down the stairs that Patty just went down, and it's 20 seconds.
Hit me with
right
20 seconds, wow. Did you have to take off both your shoes for that one?
Yes.
Alright, good, I like it. Precision. If it had been, I don't want to hear about what it had been if it had gone even longer than that.
I can't count past 20 with my fingers and toes, so I'm glad it's not past 20.
Alright, nifboy having a little trouble in the pokey room there. If you got half magic and you're not worried about other execution, Fire Rod is a good way to clean those guys up if the sword spins are a little troublesome.
Yeah, that's what makes Butter Sword actually really nice about the pokies, is you clear them out real fast.
Yep. Nifboy does lose a little time forgetting which right side door led to the big key room there.
Wait, Patty just took the lead by a room because of that.
Yeah, I mean this race is on a knife's edge here. I mean, this lead could go back and forth just depending on execution, and it's pretty. I'm pretty psyched right now. This is pretty awesome.
This is an absolutely close race too, and both of them probably feeling behind with not checking purple chests for so long. It's loser leaves town kind of thing at this point in time.
And see if we see any swag, some Maria dash strats. Not this time, it looks like.
It'd almost be interesting to see a tie. Me personally, I've actually tied twice in the tournament this far. So
twice?
Yeah.
I know you had one. I didn't know you did second time.
Yeah, I tied on Monday, and then I also tied last week.
So refresh me and the audience on the rules. Is it 3-second apart finish is considered a tie?
Yes, anything within 3 seconds of finishing between each other is a tie.
Oh, Patty's so close to the swag 0 cycle Trinex kill there. I respect that he went for it though. In a close race like this, that small amount of time difference can be huge.
Alright, and with Patty finishing up Trinex there, we get to play a little game.
Is it checkers?
Oh no, not checkers, unfortunate. The big key guessing game, the big key can be within any chest or item location between 1 and 22, so you can get your guesses in chat now as to where that may be.
Yeah, we do hear rumors that the big key guessing game is down, but I want you to know that if you guess right in chat, you'll be the winner in my heart.
Yeah,
and that's gotta count for something.
We'll play off the honor system here.
I'm not sure if I trust chat in the honor system. I'm gonna be real with you, Cursed Aether.
That's true.
I know some of these guys in
like,
chat.
Hey, I guessed that. Yeah. All right, Patty, the first to enter Ganon's tower.
Wow, this is a close match right here. I think we've got what after that Trinex fights, we're still about 12-13 seconds between these runners. So this Ganon's tower routing can make all the difference.
Yeah, Patty opting to look at the torch first before heading off to the right side. Nifboy just going straight for the right side here.
Ah, this is crazy. Look at how close they are. All right, are they going full right? Oh, they are! Oh my god!
Full right.
Oh, this is incredible. You guys are getting your money's worth here at Speed Gaming.
I feel that's why Patty checked the torch to begin with, is because
oh my god,
right, he's gambling.
Is he doing tile room? The absolute madman. All right, so let's enter Patty's mindset right now. It's an hour and 45 minutes. You've searched almost every dungeon in the game except for the pennant dungeons. You find Ice Rod, your Go Mode item, in the one spot that you haven't checked. You're feeling behind. So you enter Tau Room and you do the unthinkable.
I mean, that would be a time save if it's here.
You know, I'm going to be real with you. I'm kind of glad the bot's down because with 2 different people checking routing through Ganon's tower, having to keep track of 2 different numbers, my brain would have exploded.
I mean, Nifboy's at 6 and Patty's at 4, if that helps.
I'm glad I got you here to do the math for me, sir.
As soon as they go to one more room, I'll lose it.
Well, at this point, Patty's just N+1 chests identical to Nifboy, right? Because he did the tile room first. Although,
yeah,
wait,
exactly.
No, Nifboy didn't check the torch, though, so now I don't know what's real anymore.
Yeah. Nifboy is now at 7. Patty will be at 7 after this room.
So yeah, this is why, unless you're doing it intentionally to make a crazy gamble...
Actually, Patty will be at 8 after this room, because of tile room.
Wait, 2... Carry the 2. I can't do it. I can't
9.
do
it. This chest is 10. 11. Alright, we're still going. Patty's actually full gambling right side.
You know what? I respect it. I think he feels like, all right, I tried tile room and it didn't work. Let's continue the crazy train.
Ooh, that's a nice strat there. I've never actually seen a bonk to get to that little ledge, middle ledge there.
Oh yeah, that works out pretty well if the little beetle thing there plays nice. Man, this is crazy. At any moment, one of these runners could find the big key.
The blue ring. Is it going to be in the rando room, or is Patty going to pay off going full right side?
Rip Bob. Oh wait, Bob lives again, just further off to the side.
He knows some sick teleportation skills. And I can say now that I've fully lost track counting both people.
We've hopefully some admin or some well-attended person in chat can help us out here. All right, if it's in ice Armos room, it is French vanilla.
That's actually really big for Patty, gambling the full right side, because nifboy has the rando room to check here before heading there.
Yeah, and he's got the whole ice Armos fight to make too. Wow, that is absolutely crazy. So the tile room first, anti-meta check, leading into the full right side half dark magician route. I don't even know what's going on anymore. I just know that I love it.
I think that was chest like 11 or something like that, unless I'm missing something in my head.
Oh wait, so we got torches 1, the 2 chests on the right side are 2 and 3, tile room is 4, then you've got the 4 chests beyond that, so that's 8.
And then it's Bob's chest is 9. 10 would be...
The first one, and 11 was the main chest, because I think he got it on the second chest in there, right?
Yeah, you got it on the second chest.
So we'll go with 11 and move on with our lives. But either way, that's incredible.
I mean, there's a few people saying 13, and I don't see where the other 2 chests come from.
There's an old commentary saying, don't do math live on chat.
Very true. Very true.
Alright, so nifboy entering the Ice Armos fight here. He'll be finding himself a large key. Ice Armos going a little off the rails here.
Alright, and Patty working on the gauntlet here, and actually near the end of it. If you blinked, you missed it.
Yeah, Patty did check the torch before he went right side. Alright, so is he gonna stick with the silvers for Landmo? He is. He's going for revenge and doesn't get a single one in the first cycle. See how he does in the second cycle. Nails it. Oh, what a clean second cycle. We'll just pretend that was the first one.
Nifboy not having the same trouble with fairies that Patty did, used the hook shot to his advantage. And then on the way up the tower he goes.
Meanwhile, Patty clearing out the top part of the gauntlet here, using the very satisfying Samaria block to kill those Wizrobes. That's always fun to do.
Yeah, exactly. And
Gets
this
the quick
room
kill.
is very satisfying.
Yep, gets the quick kill in this room too. Alright, Patty definitely having a little bit tighter of a Ganon's tower here than his opponent.
Yeah, all coming down to that big key location and what they decided to gamble. But I feel at this point in time, it's going to come down to just that Ganon fight.
Yeah, and with both these runners having silver arrows and butter sword, a well-executed Ganon fight can save you a lot of time.
Yeah, exactly. It also depends on whether or not... Oh, nifboy taking a fall. But the Aga patterns, who can set it up better for the patterns for doubles or triples.
Yeah, we'll see who did and didn't bring their protractors to that fight.
Oh, Patty missing the bomb.
Conveyor belts are a harsh mistress.
Now, I recently discovered something with that bombable wall, and if you were to blow up that wall at the same time as the torches on that floor go out, the hole will be there, but you won't be able to see that the hole is there.
Oh yes, yeah, there's a lot of glitches involving the torches and stuff for between soft locking and that wall trick you mentioned. That whole place is weird.
Exactly. It's all weird. But Patty pulling on the block for some reason, trying to close off the path so that nifboy can't come up as well.
That's smart, closing the path behind you. He also skipped the meme chest, which I feel is important to point out, because I know it annoys some people.
I mean, when you're in go mode, you're in go mode, so it's respectable.
Let's see if Nifboy gets a 2 more landmills killed on the first cycle than Patty did. It does save a little bit of time in that Lambo 2 fight there.
Definitely, and not too far behind her overall.
I think that was 2 on the first round for Agahnim for Patty. That's always solid.
Yeah.
Another 2, another 2.
I think that was 2-2-2, so yeah, definitely. Very nice Aga fight. Alright, just the Ganon fight between Patty and Victory. Or maybe a fall, who knows?
I'm pretty psyched. I mean, with Butter Sword, Red Mail, Silvers, Half Magic, like, there's a lot of safeties here, and I think both these runners have fairies in bottles. So I think it's mostly going to come down to, you know, don't fall, and try to minimize the time in between phases. You know, try not to get a 3-round phase 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's where I like Cape in this scenario, because then you can just pretty much skip the phases altogether and just go kind of thing.
Yeah, agreed. So Patty using hookshot strats here to avoid damage. He's definitely hit Ganon enough to move on to the next phase here. See how many teleports he gets.
Nifboy not too far behind on the bumble wall. A couple rooms before Moldorm there.
He does get the first try bomb on that wall there. It does pick up a little time over where Patty was.
Patty entering the last phase here of Ganon, though.
Is he going for torch glitch? He is.
Gets it. Very nice.
Gets greedy for the double trip. Is he gonna get it? Oh, almost. So that's 2. Oh no, he missed his game.
Got a little bit greedy again.
He was so close to bodying Ganon there. Ah, Patty!
He's taking a lot of hugs here.
Oh, that's the 4th arrow.
And very nice. Patty taking out Ganon, having some bacon ready for breakfast time.
Wow. Oh, very well done. Get your GGs out for Patty in chat there. Because that was absolutely incredible. Finishes up with an official speed racing time of 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 28 seconds.
Definitely GG to Patty there.
Yeah, what a close race. Entering Ganon's tower within 10 seconds of each other. Oh, that would have been a triple for Nifboy right there.
That looked very close.
Hello,
Patty. GG.
GG.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. How close was it?
You and Nifboy both entered Ganon's tower about 12 seconds apart.
Whoa. That close, huh?
Yeah, we were a little worried for you when you YOLO'd the tower room.
I was feeling it.
I
was feeling tiles.
I mean, that's a fun room. You've got anti-fairies, Wallmaster. I mean, it's a good time. It's a party.
Did he go left first?
He did.
He did right first, actually,
Ooh.
but you continued right, whereas he dipped and went left.
No, you never dip, dude. Never dip. If you're gonna go right, you gotta go right. You gotta see it through.
I do have one question for you, Patty. When you got the flute and we're doing the Mire check, still looking for Ice Rod, at any point did you debate going into Pendant Mire for that Ice Rod? Did that ever cross your mind, or were you just anti-Pendant Dungeon?
I realized that it could be there, and in my mind, I thought that will be the last place I check. That will be 100% the last place I check to go get this. Oh, I love the Ice Rod so much.
Well, I mean, it ended up being in Gary's lunchbox, keeping his lunch cold, so...
Yeah, that is not a fun place for the ice rod to be, especially with this seed, because I didn't have Titan's Mitts in the Village of Outcasts, so I could have cleared Thieves Town, but I would have had to have come back once I got the Titan's Mitts to go get the purple chest. And at that point, I might not have had the flute, because the flute was behind the mushroom, which was behind the 2 red crystals. So this ice rod was nightmarishly awful. Horrible.
Yeah, there were a lot of like switchbacks in this seed, like having to go up to Death Mountain for the mirror, to have to leave to go back down for Ether to get back into Turtle Rock. There was just kind of a lot of crossbacks here.
Not fun.
Well, it was fun. It was fun for us to watch. And,
I'm
play
sure.
and laugh.
I'm sure it was great.
Overall, you and nifboy ended up doing pretty much the same routing, but just at different times. So finding that ice rod actually just mere seconds apart from each other as well.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was glorious. Yeah, you guys both cracked open that chest and got your frosty ice rod in about 10-15 seconds apart.
Gosh. Oh, that's weird. I think
So your
as soon as I got
bracket
that-
dreams are still alive, Patty. You move on to the 3 and 2 bracket, or section of the Swiss.
Gotta win it out though, right? 3 losses puts me in ties. Is that what it is?
I think if nobody drops in the upper brackets, you have to be 5 and 2 to move on.
Okay. All right.
So the dream is still alive for you, my friend.
Oh, the dream of doing more of these every week.
Well,
What a dream.
Your feelings
Nightmare?
about
No.
Rando were pretty clear with your file select naming scheme.
I don't even remember what it is. Oh, game is dumb? Yeah.
Alright, nifboy puts the 4th silver arrow into that blue-colored pig, raises his sword up
Yay.
high, and finishes. So get your GGs out in chat for nifboy.
Definitely a fantastic race from both runners.
Yep, and that's an official SRTV time, 2 hours, 6 minutes, and 35 seconds. So, what a race. 10-15 seconds apart entering G Tower. That's always a good time.
Wow. I think as soon as I got Ice Rod, I was talking into the ether about how terrible the Ice Rod was, and like all through Turtle Rock and all through Ganon's Tower, I was like, I wonder if it's close. I wonder if he got the Ice Rod. I wonder if he's diving Eastern, or if he's diving Mire. I wonder if he went for the purple chest. I wonder how close that is. And I was like, yeah, you guys are 12 seconds apart. Oh God.
Yeah, it's really easy to metagame yourself in and out of decisions when it's a one-on-one tournament.
Whew.
All right, we'll see if we can't get nifboy in here for a post-game interview. All right, looks like we are joined by nifboy.
Howdy.
Yo,
GG, man.
GG.
Well played.
good race.
It was a
If
good
you wanna
race,
call
I
it
bet. It was not a good seed.
No.
No, I have to tell you, you and your opponent
Hi.
found the ice rod very similarly together, and you entered Ganon's tower about 10-15 seconds apart. It was incredible.
I'm just glad that I decided to do the Smith chain instead of like, oh hey, I have the flute, let's go Mire.
Yeah. Yeah. Mire would have been. I was telling these guys a second ago. Mire was in my mind the last place I was going to look for Ice Rod. 100%.
Yeah, Pendant Mire is always hard to talk yourself into. That's for sure.
I mean, you could have gotten that nice green pendant for Sahasrahla there. You never know.
Boo.
It was real tempting.
Well, nifboy, you actually checked the pedestal kind of in the middle of the seed, so you knew pretty early that if you went into pendant dungeons, you at the very least didn't have to commit to getting the pendants themselves if you didn't have to.
Yeah, I did the Turtle Rock dip, and so what happened was, so first there was that absurd first hour, which normally you're pretty happy to see the hammer, but then it's like, okay, there's 150 chests out in the world. Where is that friggin' ice rod? And so, okay, do all the crystal dungeons. That's a no-brainer. And then, okay, where is that ice rod? Worst case scenario is it was in Thieves Town, and my opponent had checked Thieves Town doing that first loop. So it's like, okay, let's not go there.
Yeah, understandable. Like, the myths being where they were and Mirror being where it was made that dark world, kind of self loop really difficult to route effectively. Did either one of you feel like you were especially behind by the time you found the ice rod, or did you feel like yeah, that's about right?
As soon as I found ice rod, I didn't really feel behind. I was wondering how close it was until I found ice rod. I was thinking, I actually said out loud, if he dot duns, I'm gonna go because I don't want to look for the ice rod for the next half hour.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty understandable.
So I don't know. I don't think I ever felt behind at any point. I just was wondering how close it was the whole time. Because it's a crapshoot for like the last 30 minutes. I hope I find the ice rod in here. Nope. I hope I find it in here. Nope. I hope I find it in here. Nope. All right, time to scour everywhere. The only thing I didn't do on the overworld was Bombo's tablet, which was I was about to do it. That was literally the only thing I didn't do in the overworld. I'm pretty sure. I'm 90% sure.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that's the only thing left on your end.
Yeah, you had set up to check it after turning in the chest, but it was unnecessary at that point.
Gosh.
And I think it would have been, at the time that you got Ice Rod, I think you would have been about 3 seconds ahead if you had opted to not take the portal. But just getting the portal ended up giving a decent time change in there. But very close race.
I think I only had Catfish and then Mire area, but Mire area doesn't count.
I did it.
Oh, you did?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, your Patty ended up finding the flutes a bit before you, nifboy. But checked the Mire shed and Checkerboard Cave and decided to opt out of Mire, which ended up being the right call.
Yeah, I was saying to myself, well, the best places to check are Myths locations, Mirror locations, and Hammer locations. And Smith Chain turns out to have all of that.
Not very true.
All right, so within this standard mode here, you can have the 1 of 7 items from the uncle. How did you guys like getting 5 of those within the first 10 minutes?
It's nice. It was nice, but I immediately knew that, oh god, this is going to be an awful seed. When you find a lot on the front end, it just blows open the world, but not completely.
It was all of the items that are good to have an hour into the seed, but not right now.
Yep.
Yeah, it almost becomes more, like when the world opens up so much, it becomes an exercise in, I think, efficient routing, and you guys both win at it in slightly different ways, but coming together so close at the end of the game there, it was a treat to watch. You guys put on a great show.
You're welcome.
Yeah. When Mini Moldorm came is the most disappointing thing you've seen so far because it has hookshot. It's just an absurd early seed.
All
Very
right, I'm gonna get going.
Yep,
GG,
sounds great, guys.
GG, everyone. Hit these runners up with a follow. They put on a fantastic show for us today. Unfortunately, the bot is all broken, so our commands aren't working. But definitely hit them up with a follow, as well as hit up Speed Gaming 1 through 6 and ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 4 with a follow. Lots of rando to go on in the future. As for rando right now going on ALTTP Randomizer 1, there's a race between Old Man Sunshine and Nakanashi going on, and Leiro GG and Pika Pals are kicking it off on Speed Gaming 4 coming up right away.
Yeah, lots of hot randomizer action still going on if you wanna keep the fun train going.
And thank you again to both Patty and nifboy for putting on a good show.
And thanks to the audience for putting up with an hour-long ice rod hunt.
Excellent. Well, I have been Files. I was joined by Cursed Aether on the mic. Thanks again to Odd Walls for doing the tracking for us. And we will see you all next mission. Thanks, guys.